Welcome to the Tuna Status Podcast. We're here again with my guy Jose for part 2. Catching up. It's been a little bit of time. We had the holidays, just downtime for myself, focusing. We got the new camera, new gear, learning that stuff. So we're back here. So
no more crashes.
Nah.
If it crashes again,
well prepared. Got the whole checklist, as you can see.
Well, they can't.
What's
see
the first one?
They
Night?
can't see it. Night. they
I'll copy
can't
and
see
paste.
this.
Don't play with me.
It says night before. Charge MacBook. Charge
Yes.
camera batteries. Charge microphone.
Yeah.
By the way, the mics are dead. By the way, if you didn't know.
No. So you're back.
I'm back.
How was Thanksgiving?
Boring. I didn't do anything.
Nothing.
I don't do nothing.
Didn't even go heavy with the eating.
Nah.
Damn.
I don't feel like holidays have that emotional attachment or like effect that it has on most people.
Yeah.
I don't feel anything like Christmas and all that stuff. I've never had a tree up in my life.
Next year I'm gonna invite you over.
Oh God.
My family, you're probably gonna be like 15 pounds heavier, but you'll be alright. You'll be alright. It's a good time.
I'm sure my gym coach would be happy about that. My nutritionist, not so much.
It's alright. It's all good vibes.
15 pounds heavy on one day, bro.
Yeah, man. So today we gotta address a couple things. First things first. Do you want to get straight to the shits, or do you want to just build it up with this one?
Let's get to it, bro. Because listen, y'all don't got the attention span to sit here for 2 hours, bro.
Yeah.
Listen.
We're gonna keep it simple then.
TikTok's ruining it. Let's get right to the sauce.
All right. So
unless you have something else, you have. I mean, up to you.
Last podcast we seen that there was some responses to some pretty aggressive statements. Which honestly, they weren't even that serious, bro. But everybody's got something to say about something. It's cool, but it is what it is. So let's address a couple things that we got on the board. So right now we're going to talk about, the stance culture, and how important and how heavy it's weighted in the car scene. Do you feel like
it's not appreciated at all, bro?
Because it's
at all.
I think what people fail to recognize is that as far as stance, as far as the style and aesthetic, it's really carrying a good portion of the car scene. And it's not to say that other aspects of the car scene are dead, because obviously there's still racing in all its forms and fashions, whether street, track, drift,
street builds,
all that stuff like that. Like there's still contributors,
track builds,
but you can see through social media, and it's not even just algorithms like where you're following your niche. It's just even down to the marketing too. 7-Eleven with their most recent ad.
It's all
things like that. You're not seeing other really scenes highlighted. Like you're not seeing, the lifted truck guys. It's not a big marketing thing behind it. And it's crazy because I follow a lot of the truck stuff on Instagram. And so my algorithm shows me that.
I got the street truck on mine.
Yeah.
A bunch of Mexican GTRs, bro.
Oh,
that's all I got, which is why I need that F-150, man.
Bro.
That 5.0 F-150, I need that ASAP, bro. If you've seen those videos,
yeah, I know.
Bro, they sound like straight up Hellcats, but they're pushing like only 6 something,
I said only 6 something.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say the other number because y'all would have ruined the comment section.
Yeah.
6.7?
6.7? Oh my God, bro.
All right, I'm cooked. Yeah, I'm cooked. Uncle, by the way, 27, by the way.
Damn.
That's crazy. You didn't have to hit me with damn, bro. Catching up to you? All right, Kevin Hart. Let's be real game. Let's be real game. No.
All right, so stance culture. How much influence do you think it has on the scene right now?
Bro, people underestimate how much influence stance culture has had on the scene for years.
Okay.
The problem with stance culture now is that it's social media driven, whereas before it was culture driven. If you had a stance car, you're doing it for the culture. You know the history of BPOO culture, the history of JDM culture. You know that stance has been around since any other genre. Bro, people have been slamming cars as much as they've been modifying them to go faster. Like that's part of the game. That's always been part of the game. Mm-hmm. Now, the Japanese just happen to realize that if you tilt your wheels a little bit, you can actually go way lower. And again, that's always been the culture for them. Mm-hmm. But again, apparently, and even the comment section in this video that I just commented on, they're like, you don't know what you're talking about, dude. The scene would survive without stance cars. I'm like, yeah, good luck getting wheels without stance cars. Because 90% of the wheels that are being bought that you're looking for are on stance cars right now. And they've always been on stance cars. They're not built with the intention to go on stance cars, but the rigidity does matter because stance cars are going to test the hell out of that. I feel like stance cars test the rigidity of products as much as track cars do. Mm-hmm. Like track cars push it to the limit in terms of like durability. stance cars tested to the limit in terms of how much can I break this before it actually breaks.
Yeah.
Which is almost as equivalent if you really think about it. The amount of stress you're putting on the suspension, on the wheels, on everything, it's almost as equivalent.
Yeah.
As as going to a crazy track and going crazy on the Nürburgring, like for real.
Yeah.
But
I just feel like for me, it's hand in hand where some things balance each other. It's like without the track cars, they wouldn't have already started, some of the aspects of like say going as far as arms.
yeah,
Like I remember for me, like when I first came out and I had my Subaru and things like that, like everything you had to go through like Rally Sport Direct and stuff like that. And and it's like you adjusted those arms to get more positive camber or to fit wider wheels.
Right.
But like
no one's ever used it to do the opposite.
We took it a little bit further where it was just like, what if we just use it to tilt? And then it became, okay, we have these aftermarket wheels, these spindles. What happens if I just cut it and re-weld it? Like, so...
And then that opens this exactly what you just said. Because it opens a space for new people to come in and say, all right, so fine, we offer shortened spindles now. I mean, imagine if the stance scene wasn't around, the amount of monopoly that'd be in the car scene right now, and the amount of limited availability for parts. You're talking about like, hey, I'm in this weird position where I have a wheel that's slightly too wide, and I need a control arm to add a degree of tilt, a degree of camber in the front. You're not gonna find that.
Yeah.
Good luck. And the most you'll find is something that goes like half a degree, if that was the case.
It's just, it allows a new perspective and a new room for innovation and a new aesthetic to be introduced to a scene. Like even more recently, I just saw Marsh, his drop.
Bro,
so,
that was actually one of the topics I had.
Really?
Because remember, they posted photos to talk about it and stuff. And that's one of the cars that people were like, you got to talk about this. Like, the thing with that is, the reason I appreciate that car specifically, no glaze either, by the way. I hate you, Marsh. Bagged over static any day. The reason I fully like respect that is because of the chassis that it's on.
Okay.
One of the questions that you had was like, what's an important mod that can make your car yours? And I feel like the beginning is like doing something that nobody else is doing. Like when I had my Accord, my 10th gen Accord, bro, as we know today, the 10th gen Accord scene is like cliche. You know everything that everyone does. Shortened front spindle from low life projects, extended lower control arms, top hats, extended top hats or whatever they're called, or like LLP top hats, SPC rear camber arms or LLP rear camber arms.
So you're saying it's
staggered setup,
a
basic staggered setup on some weird Japanese wheels, and wrap it some highlighter color or whatever the hell.
So the blueprint's already laid for those guys.
It's laid for a lot of guys these days. Even Benzes, even C-Class Benzes, even Volkswagen Golf Rs, even BMW M5s, M3s, the blueprint is out. Bro, Kendrick said it, the blueprint is out. I'm telling you, bro. The blueprint is out for all these cars. It's people, when you have one-on-one conversations with people that have the brand new M3s and M5s, the first thing they say is, bro, this is the wave. It's the blueprint. Like, you go famous just by owning one. You don't have to do nothing to it. Just buy a specific colored one that's not famous, that's not or not popular, and that's it. Whether it be, I don't know. I'm not gonna bring colors just in case, because I can't think of any on the top of my head right now, and I feel like I'm gonna bring a color that's gonna offend someone. So I don't know, but and I think for me, when I had the Accord, it was definitely like, dude, I want to make this as JDM as possible, but not knowing how bad of an idea that is to do on an American-based car. So I think the way to make it your own is definitely to do something that's not traditional on a chassis that's not seen as often. I've never seen, and I'm sure they're around, I've never seen a fully BPU'd, like, stanced 7th gen Accord like that. Ever. I've seen low ones. I've seen 20 degrees cambered ones. I've never seen a raised frame one before. And, the structural rigidity of that, I have no room to talk about it. I have no effing idea. I have no experience in that.
That's wild.
So the comment section knows better than I do. Maybe.
They always.
I mean, yeah, they always do. But in terms of like rarity and in terms of creativity and uniqueness, you're not gonna find another 7th gen Accord like that probably in the world. In the world, by the way, not just to sit in the world, gang.
So with making your car your own, what does it mean when it goes to these events and these car shows? Do you feel like making your car your own is respected?
It's not. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Everyone has an opinion, dude. Everyone thinks that their opinion is better than someone else's. and everyone thinks that their opinion is fact.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had people DM me and say that's just a fact in my opinion. What? That's just a fact in my. The point is like I remember that I've always brought this up about car shows. That I don't know how to fix the judging system.
Yeah.
Because it's based off of taste, obviously, right? But I think like there's a level of tackiness that doesn't get highlighted with the point system. And I think this tackiness is also part of the personalization part.
Yeah.
What might be tacky to me might be your whole entire theme for you, if that makes sense. But I could not tell you how to fix it to begin with.
I just feel like, it's hard because even if you went to build appropriate shows, where you got like Slammed Enough Gat, and then you had the car that won a couple years back, and the response to that, like,
I think I bring that up last time, and he cut it out the video, guys. You see that? He cuts out the controversial stuff that I say. While I'm here, I hate. No, I'm kidding.
All right, so speak on it.
No. I think you're right.
Like, is there a way to like say if they had us? Because the last event that I have to say is like First Class Fitment.
Yeah.
Where that was like
the standard changed.
Like a stance oriented show.
Yeah.
But like, it's like, but like, bit. Even with that, it's like, I mean, then you got Stance Wars and all that other stuff. But how would
Ultra
you even,
race.
How would you even judge at an event like that?
It's so I think today the standard changed.
Yeah.
The standard's different. It's not the same standard anymore. Now having good fitment isn't even like a flex anymore. It's an expectation. So if your fitment is boof, your fitment is boof. But now that what I'm noticing is like the details in your fitment matter now. How much of your wheel are you tucking all of a sudden? Or if you're fender to lip. Bro. Yo, the new wave is tucking lug nuts now. So like if you're tucking lug nuts, that's massive. I think this is interesting to me. I was recently in the car, like just having a little. I think I had like an hour drive, and I just played no music, just to think. And the one thing I was like thinking about is what's impressive about these cars now, because now everyone can do it. Now everyone knows the method. Everyone knows how to do it. Not saying that they are going to do it, but now you can just cut and shorten a spindle and get whatever level of degree you want for tilt, right?
Yeah.
And you can get your fitment done whatever, because everyone's buying, and insert name here wheels. So what's the difficulty now if anyone can just do it? And I think the real answer to that is how much do you drive that car? Yeah. But nobody is ever gonna use that as a reference. Like, dude, there's a dude that drove from like Los Angeles to SEMA in a static car, stance, like with like over 12 degrees of camber all around. Drove all the way there and back, and no one's ever gonna talk about that.
I'm not doing that. That don't sound like fun at all. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all.
And it's on a real static car.
Much respect, but I'm not doing that. Y'all got it.
Bro, I had this argument last night with someone. I was like, yo, being bagged is just superior in terms of comfort and in terms of like reliability. And they're like, bro, I've only had issues when I had bags. Bro, the reason people have issues with bags is they buy used kits, used bags, and then go to Joe Schmo to install it for $200 less than the rest of the market. And then they freak out on that.
Everybody, and I'll say this, and I
we're getting canceled today, gang. It's time.
All right.
It's time.
Static car respected. It's cool.
Oh, for sure.
You and your friends having a good time, mobbing
Valid.
with the shits.
Yep.
But now you drive your build to work one day, and then your coworker says, "Hey, let's take your car to go get lunch."
We ain't taking your car to go get lunch, gang.
Then they sit down in your car.
It's like, yo, there's a rock on a.
Everybody knows you can't lie. Like, you can be like, oh, no,
it's comfy, it's comfortable.
It's bullshit, blah, blah. He's talking shit. Like, my car is smooth as hell. Ain't nobody got no problems with it. Cool from your perspective. 100%. That's because nobody's really told you.
100%.
Get a non-car person to sit in your car.
That's all you got to do. Nobody can tell in the Benz, bro. In the Benz, if I legitimately, like the thing with the Benz is I have this really bad ego trip where I have to drive low. Yeah. If I lost that ego trip altogether and said, I'm going to drive this thing like it came out of the factory, no camber, on my aftermarket air suspension, tall ride height, bro, it's better than stock. It's like miles, and I can tell you this because the problem with that generation E-Class is the body roll on that suspension. Yeah. It's way too soft for the stock suspension. Way too soft. It's a leaf spring stock. It's not really leaf spring, but it's like separated suspension for the rear. So you make a simple left turn, bro, the whole car is like trying to fall to the right. When you put it on bags and you have a high ride height, you set it to kind of stiff.
Yeah.
Yes, the bumps are obviously going to be felt more. That's nature. That's the problem with living in the East Coast. The roads are ass. But when it comes to like the comfort of it, bro, if you're on the highway, just go and you do not feel the road. You don't hear the road, nothing. It's literally but then you have static people that are like, bro, I've been static my whole life. I don't feel nothing. It's fine. I'm like, bro, hit a bump.
Yeah.
The thing is, on a flat road that's completely flat, nothing on it, I would agree with them. Static probably drives significantly better than bagged.
Yeah.
And it probably feels better than bagged. That doesn't exist.
Yeah.
There's
I
no
just feel
such
like,
thing as that. Out here, at least.
and also giving grace, like I feel like the static guys that are like heavy with it, like they.
There's
I feel like the region that they also live in plays a part of it too.
Don't get me wrong. There's some people that live in pretty crappy regions that are static.
But that also like
yeah.
That pushes the level of patience that you have.
That pushes. That's why I couldn't do it.
It pushes how far you're willing to modify the car, because I'm pretty sure if you look at some static guys, they hit a certain limit due to like, okay, I'm either daily, because there's the daily drivers and there's the guys who catch up with their friends that are going to the car events and things like that. That's why they bring their cars out. But I'm pretty sure they would want to push their cars further if there was better conditions as far as, you know, the roads.
100%. Oh my God.
Even just getting out of their driveway type shit. Like,
look at Florida. Yeah. If we had an ounce of what Florida has, there would have been more static cars out here than bad cars. I'm sure of it. Now, let's talking about the static and bad cars. Everyone says, oh, I'm on coilovers and I'm low. That's static.
Yeah.
And that's fitment. Bro, when we talk about static cars, we're not talking about cars that are slightly lowered, like 2 or 3 inches, and then have no fitment whatsoever. Realistically,
no.
We're talking about the ones that
levels.
There's no suspension travel.
Yeah.
Like you have no that's static. Like, okay, fine. If you have, obviously the definition of static is you can't change it doesn't change. Like when you think about technology, static IPs, they don't change. So technically, a car that's on coilovers and lowered a little bit is considered quote unquote static. But when we're referring to static, we mean like front bumper on the ground, like this type of static. We're not talking about like you can fit like your whole head under the car static. We're not talking about like bagged cars ride height static. I'm talking about like on the floor, you can't afford to go over speed bump static.
Okay.
That's what everyone refers to as static. So whenever I hear someone saying, yo, my car is static, my car is low, and then I see it and it looks like my car like on ride height, aired up, I'm like, listen, bro, like I don't respect all bills, but I respect everyone's like effort to do something and like intention to do something. But if you're monster truck hype, bro, you have no room to talk about the static versus bag conversation. Okay. And the same thing goes with bagged. If you're bagged and you've had millions of issues, bro, and you're cutting corners with your bags, you have no position to talk about. I've literally posted yesterday on my story, bro. I bought the car with 29,000 miles. Yeah. I bagged it 3K miles later, and I'm at 105 right now. Bagged. From literally from 29,000 to 105,000 miles, I had that car bagged. If you can, you can't count the amount of issues I've had.
Yeah.
Go ahead, count it. How many issues do you think I've had? None.
None?
No. Legitimately, 0 issues. And my car's been touched by 4 different shops.
That's crazy.
In terms of like the bag setup part of it, has been touched by for different reasons. Like blew an axle one time. While I was there, I got new bags installed. Just like new struts, just because I got a cool sponsorship by In-Air. Shout out In-Air, bro. They blessed it up. They gave me a new management while I was there. Okay. So the whole new management, whole new setup on their stuff. Drove to Florida twice. Drove the GAT on that setup. I've never had an issue. Like, obviously, I've had like self-made issues. Like, for example, I ran out of lines, like the airlines, to go to the front of the car because we kept making changes. Had to run a diverter valve, not a diverter valve. It's called like I forget what it is. It looks like a diverter valve, but it's just to extend the line a little bit more. That shit blew up in Florida.
No way.
Yeah, I aired up the car to put the jack under it, and it just went psh, and blew up the whole thing. Florida's hot though, so the temperature out there is crazy. Obviously, it's the first time the car's been down there around that time with that much PSI in it, so it makes sense. But like, I'm never gonna sit there and be like, oh yeah, this is why bags suck because I had to. It's my own fault, bro.
Yeah.
I instead of replacing the whole
people,
line,
I was just like, most of the issues that most people encounter is based off of installation.
Yeah, and lack of understanding of experience, bro. Do you know how many times I've called MMB after he bagged my car? Do you know how many times I called JC and Stormy and Alan on IG talking about, yo, why is my car making this noise? You know how many times I've called the Jovens telling him, yo, are you at the shop? I need to check something out. You know how many times I've called Gil and Jay and Stance and Stop and Stance mad times? But there's a whole group chat that I had with Stop and Stance where I would just like upload every issue that I had in there with bags. Well, because, you know, I'm stress testing their bags for them. So I'm giving them mad information on it.
Yeah.
Bro, people are scared to ask questions. People are, they expect, I think it's like, it's also a part of entitlement. I think like people expect to bring their car to a shop and get bags installed and like never have to ask questions, never have to go back. That's not how it works, bro.
No,
like
definitely not.
you wanna.
No, that's the farthest thing.
And then they have an attitude with the shop owner. The shop owner's gonna be like, bro, I ain't dealing with this kid. I'm gonna leave him on red. Yeah. Forget him. Me, bro, I'm very, very like respectful and understanding of people's time. So if they install something on my car and I feel like it's not working, I'm gonna go talk to him about it and be like, yo, what can we do, bro? Like I'll pay you for another shop hour just to work with me to figure this out. Turns out, dampening, bro. Nobody touches their dampening. My car was bouncy as hell. Just like people always say, yo, bags are mad bouncy. 100%. It was bouncy as hell. It was literally just the dampening.
Yeah.
The dampening was set to like.
You gotta educate yourself on it because if you just throw it in and just leave it, like, if you think that these companies really
they don't tell you nothing
have
either.
It preset for your car.
They don't.
They don't.
They don't.
I don't care what they say about, oh yeah, we preset your ride height for easy drop in and all stuff like that.
They do not. They don't care, bro. You just paid them. They don't care. They'll send you the bags.
That whole, we're gonna set it halfway, 15 clicks, figure it out as you're driving it.
Literally, and bro, for me especially the Benz because it's a chassis that people don't really touch. Like specifically the W213 chassis is so limited in terms of support. Everything that I've done, despite having the blueprint from my friend Mark and things, he's the only other person with an E-Class with double-digit tilt that I've ever met. My generation, besides obviously in Thailand, they go crazy in Thailand and Vietnam. They go crazy with the Mercedes out there, bro. All rear-wheel drive and they're all aluminum. They just weld their own shit out there. It's crazy. But Mark and things, he literally told me, he's like, bro, he gave me the sauce, he gave me the fitment, he gave me the parts where to get them. None of that worked for me. Nothing that he told me really worked for me. Really? I did everything he said and it would not work. So like my whole setup is different from his. Like he had a spacer, he had like super negative offsets and shit like that. I have no spacers, no adapters, no nothing, running like similar specs, and I'm not getting the same fitment as him. So being on a chassis that nobody support, everything is trial and error. I cracked like 6, oh God, I gotta stop saying the word 6. I cracked like 8 barrels in the span of 2 years from switching my suspension setup. And you know, we sat there, 8 barrels. So to be fair, so one cracked, we welded it cracked 2 more times. Other side, one cracked, we welded it, cracked another time. Fronts both cracked, I didn't even bother welding them. It was that bad. And people kept asking me, why are you driving to Jersey on your wheels if you know they're gonna crack? I'm like, dude, I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with my car. Yeah. I'm stress testing it. That's what people don't have the money to do or their ability to do that. Turns out the Mercedes is so heavy that using majority strut, which is what you're supposed to do when you're setting up your bag setup, you know, you don't max out the strut, right? You only go down until, you know, the car's low enough. Exactly. And then the rest of it's taken care of by the bag. That doesn't work for my car because it's so heavy that the suspension travel is so much that it bottoms out all the fucking time. Okay. So the only solution was to max out all of the struts and be more of a bag oriented setup. And ever since I did that, I have not cracked dude, I drove the AC and back. Same exact setup that I drove down with the first time. Yeah. Didn't crack anything. No cracks.
Because if you think about it, it's based off just like the OEM.
Yeah, it's geometry. It's all basic geometry, but
so
nobody
the car is
knows.
Built for that type of setup, so you have to mimic that similar setup.
But you don't know that. You don't know that until you actually go in there and do it. So there's people that are grabbing these chassis that either don't have that much support or they're trying to do something different, which is 100% encouraged. Do something different. But then they complain about the shop or complain about the bags when it's really just them. Yeah. I have never once legitimately had issues with bags where it's not something that I did or not something that I can blame Airlift on. Airlift is kind of the quality. That's one of the topics. The quality of like Airlift and stuff like that has really gone. Really? Bro, their management, I've had 3 of their managements so far, and one of them was fine. The second one had major issues. And then the replacement one they sent me also had major issues. So that's where I kind of like give them grace. Yeah. Something's definitely going on with Airlift quality control. And they also cut their warranty in half, which is, it used to be lifetime, now it's a year. Like, it says something about where they're cutting corners. Yeah,
and the suppliers and their vendors. But then again, like, I feel like that could be a direct response. Yeah, it's crazy because, and not to bullshit, but a lot should have changed after COVID. When it comes to
everything changed
the
after
supply
COVID.
chains, it really
Yeah.
has. Like a lot of companies were using and built reputations and had high regard for things, but then that's also why some of these companies are also switching and saying, "Oh, we're doing things in house. Things are built, tested, and installed locally."
Yeah, I don't know how I mean, I still think, I mean, that's a political conversation.
Yeah.
But the whole, like, doing in-house versus doing, overseas conversation is a crazy, I mean, that's one of the topics, the Alibaba / Rep Wheel conversation. How do I feel about that?
I mean, cracking 8 barrels.
It says a lot, right?
Yeah.
But then but that's the thing. Everyone always goes, "Oh yeah, bro, your whole argument about rep wheels and real wheels are invalid because you have that." I'm like, brother, if I had GMRs on my car, I promise you, them wheels wouldn't have been cracked. It would have been dented. Yeah. It would have been irreversible damage that I could not fix. Like legit, but the bumps that I hit, respectfully, on the highway are like inevitable ones. It's like the ones where where there's bridges and it's an entire line of just, and that's exactly what would crack my wheels at the time. As soon as I switched to a suspension that's way more stiff, that actually, suspends, which is the point of a suspension, all those problems went away. I have not had another cracked barrel, bent wheel, or nothing like that ever since then. And if anyone has validity in that, is the motherfucker that drives this car year round.
I'm not gonna lie, me and my buddy, we joked about this, and I'm surprised the trend didn't happen where it was just like, with real wheels and builds going on, we can both admit that there are some template wheels that people throw on there.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
It's just, granted.
HREs, BBSs.
I wanted my Meisters, but I had my Meisters through 3 different cars. So it's kind of like
Ratzingers.
But like.
Emmets are now the new wave
I
too.
thought somebody by now would have been like, fuck it, I'm going to start forcing it on reps.
Yeah.
And then kind of like how people all right, you know what? The wildest, craziest thing. I thought that would have been a phase in the car scene that would have happened by now.
I understand.
Where it's
I understand
I could force the tilt on this because I don't give a damn because a new wheel is going to only cost me $250.
Facts.
And I can get it here within 4 days.
Drifters say that. Drifters do that. Yeah. The drifters really do believe, they don't care about, I mean, they should because of weight ratio. Some of them are like, oh, well, they're cast wheels. I don't care. I'll just go buy another set. They're $125 for a replacement. Whatever. I think my argument is going back to the COVID thing. I think COVID exposed a lot of BS where manufacturers started cutting corners and we found out they started cutting corners. Actually, this is going to be really deep. I actually heard this conversation recently. Just like you said last night, you were locked in. A couple nights ago, I was locked in too, bro. Okay. And I'm not gonna lie, a reel came up that I was like, damn, this is like preaching. It's like, why do these like Italian glasses maker they don't care that you're making replicas of like chrome heart glasses or anything like that. And it's because like a couple years ago, they were probably really into like the quality of their product. They really much cared about the product they were putting out because the people that rep their brand had a certain expectation from them. As soon as COVID happened, they're like, wait a minute, you're telling me I could cut my cost literally by 75% and you'd still pay the markup price on it? Like imagine your pair of chrome heart glasses. I mean, I have an example of this. My glasses right now, bro, literally. Yeah. I had Ray-Bans before that were the exact same color and I should have brought it to show you. And those glasses with prescription cost me $700.
I believe it.
For them. They're expensive. Yeah. They're expensive as hell. These are from Zenny Optical. Same exact style. I paid like $60 for these with prescription. So it's like, instead of them and obviously they're probably still getting this crazy markup. Yeah. And the Ray-Bans kept breaking on me every 2 years. I had a warranty on them because they kept this started coming off. Dude, I wear these to the gym. I wear these underwater and they are still the fact that these aren't falling
and flop, glasses problems.
If you blind, that glasses holding on like this after a certain age is not that And I wear the hell out of these, and they have never given me any issues. So people are noticing now.
That shake was wild.
You see that, right?
Yeah. That
wait, calm. Yeah. All right, bro. I'm canceled, bro. It's over with, bro. I'm just hit them with that, bro. 6-7. All right. So, but that goes. That's part of the conversation though, because the quality has gone down so much. People are noticing. They're like, bro, why am I gonna pay? Example. Why am I gonna pay $8,000 for BBSs when I know damn well these aren't the BBSs that were made in Germany back in the day. You're making them in the same factory in China as the rest of these rep wheel companies. You just have different expectations and different warranties. So now people are catching on to that and they're saying, bro, I'm not gonna buy the original anymore because I know y'all are cutting corners.
Exactly.
I'm gonna just go to your supplier and get it for literally a third of the cost.
So the real wheel isn't even the real wheel anymore.
And I agree. I actually am not opposed to that statement. Believe it or not. Like the more this is the problem with today's generation, bro. Everyone is set in their ways and they have no room for conversation and growth.
Okay.
I literally, bro, I always tell people to prove me wrong. And that is the first video in a while that I've seen that I'm like, you know what, that's a very valid argument as to why people get replicas over reals. If the reals are being processed in the same freaking factory, just marked up because of the name. Yeah. Bro, people don't pay for like Netflix and they get the illegal Netflix online. 123movies.net. If you know, you know. Are you gonna sit there and be like, oh, rep Netflix? No, it makes sense. It's like, why am I paying a markup on a service that isn't worth this much? I'm just gonna watch the movie for free. I started realizing that and I'm like, it makes sense. The problem that I have, legitimately, is still with brands like GMR. Okay. I still don't like the idea of copying an original design without permission, without conversation, without lore. Because people are like, oh, well, what about the Blitz 03s? Those are just aim gain wheels or whatever the hell, or Amistad wheels or whatever the hell. Yeah. It's a little bit different, especially when you think about Japanese culture where those wheel brands each owned each other somehow, some way. Yeah, yeah. Like you're thinking, oh, yeah, well, SSR made the same wheel as this company and not knowing that they're both owned by Tanabe, which is their parent company, which is owned by, example, not true, but which is owned by Work. Yeah. So Work owns Tanabe, which owns SSR, and so they can do shit like that. Versus
because
like
it's family.
It's in the fam, bro. Yeah. It's like if Best Buy.
So it's different. It's different. You know
it's like if Amazon bought Best Buy and they started selling Amazon basic products at Best Buy, you're gonna sit there and be like, what the no, that makes sense. It makes sense. So that's a little bit of a different argument, but the argument that people are making that's valid, like I said, now it's valid, is these real wheel brand companies are now cutting corners. For example, BBS, example, HRE, like these single cast wheels are cutting corners and not going elsewhere to China. People caught on to that, no longer do that. But I don't want to separate that from the fact that like Work wheels are still being made in Japan. Yeah. SSR wheels are still being made in Japan. The majority of these real quote unquote wheels are still being made in Japan. And your favorite rep wheel is still being made locally or made in China. And they're still cutting corners. Yeah. You're still paying a markup. I know. That's what I don't.
The markup is sick because when you look at it, and I had a conversation with somebody, I don't want to like expose whatever, but it's just like when you go on Alibaba, AliExpress, whatever the fuck it is that sells those
Alibaba,
and you're like, damn, this is what them shits actually cost, bro.
Yeah.
From the same fucking factory. You pretty much, it's just like you're looking at the wheel manufacturer and you're just like, wait, are you guys just drop shipping?
It almost feels like that, right? It almost feels like that, right?
Like, are you really just drop shipping right now?
I mean, again, going back to the point, it's like I understand I think what GMR is doing is predatory, to be honest with you, in terms of the market. It's really much a monopoly. That was my biggest issue with GMRs my whole life. And people don't understand that everyone always takes it personally, and that's their biggest issue. And that shows you the type of people that you have in your scene. When they take something like that personally, they got a problem in themselves. That's 100% sure.
It's weird though, because I feel like when it comes to rep anything, I feel like there's only two things that people really care about when it comes down to reps.
Yeah.
It's
rigidity and clout.
No, not even that. It's wheels and sneakers.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the only thing, like, as far as our culture, like, what really
compare them. Use that as a comparison.
It's just like people really only cared about, because if you get a carbon fiber lip and it's like a Boysteiner, if you don't have the badge on it, you might get some like old head that might be like, oh, that's a fake lip, a fake diffuser, blah 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 blah, whatever. But most people,
it's still carbon fiber gang.
If you pull up, they just like, yo, that shit's still lasting.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
If you get a rear duckbill, if you get a shifter or whatever, or if you put an intake, or even the performance guys, like, there's only so much you can do, and there's so much that you can mold to make different. Right. And then a lot of people are saying, okay, well, that design looks popular, so I'm gonna follow that design. And there's not too much hate or flack. I've never seen anybody get roasted for having a fake
carbon fiber. Okay, hold on, rewind. So carbon fiber wrap, you get roasted and sent to hell for.
Yeah.
So that's that. Yeah. I think that is considered fake carbon fiber.
Okay. Yeah.
I think carbon fiber trim pieces inside of the car are also something to like flame about, because it's like the whole point of carbon fiber is to cut weight down. You're adding something that has carbon fiber in it. For the visual aspect of it, there's no real benefit to it. That kind of makes me scratch my head. But like, this conversation came up recently too, like not fake, but like carbon fiber made in Alibaba versus carbon fiber from Italy, right? You don't notice any difference, realistically. The only difference is like you might get scammed by China, because what they do is they take a polycarbonate lip and just inlay the top of it with carbon, versus like you might get an entirely forged carbon front lip from like Italy, for example. But that's not saying there aren't companies in China that do actually give you entire like carbon processes. There's people like Top Shot that sell those things. Like he literally gets them, bro. Not gonna tell people the method, but if you buy that shit from China and you find the right supplier, you're getting Italy level qualities for the price of a regular lip on eBay. But I think that's why I think GMR is very predatory with that, because they took advantage of the 2020 market crash. They took hella advantage of that. All of a sudden, you're no longer able to get wheels from overseas. All of a sudden, you're not able to. Dude, we talked about Felix a bunch on the last podcast. It took him almost a year and a half to get his wheels from Japan because of COVID. Ordered it in 2019.
I was going through that.
You already know, bro. Listen, shit coming out here. Nothing was coming out here. Yeah. So they took advantage of that scene, and they're like, yo, we're going to offer. We see the demand. Yeah. We're going to supply it, but we're going to cut all the corners, as much corner as possible to get our costs down, and then offer replicas of it. Now, it's not like Rotiform, where they're offering replicas of wheels that you literally cannot obtain, like Lamborghini wheels at the time, which makes sense. It's not like Apex that makes rep BMW wheels, but they maintain the quality of it. It's not like HRE, which again makes certain replica Lamborghini and BMW wheels, but they maintain the quality of it. Those, you don't see people sitting around yelling at. I have never seen someone say, LOL Apex, right? Like maybe if you're in the Facebook group chats, Maybe there's like these super purists that are like, oh, those are reps. But like when I think about reps, I think about like, what's the point of them making a copy? A rep of a rep is never something that I complain about. If GMR is copying the ESR wheel, I could care less. It's when they're copying the real stuff and they're charging more than what it costs to just get the original. Like I've literally been on Facebook, not on Facebook, on VR Wheels Inventory, which is, again, VR Wheels Inventory is the owner of GMR. So I'd never had anything wrong with VR wheels. They're offering a marketplace for real wheels as well as non-real wheels. I don't like how, again, the predatory shit, they realize that the supply is high for these style wheels that you can't get at all. And so they offer you that in a shorter time frame, which, to be honest, is still like 6 months, 3 to 6 months kind of. It depends on the wheel, to be fair. If you want certain specs, 3 to 6 months to get that wheel. Dude, I knew somebody that bought 22s or 21s that took them like 9 months to get them. Locally, by the way, locally.
That's crazy.
So if you're gonna wait 9 months, brother, I'm waiting the other 12 to get the freaking Advance from Japan and just get the old, you know what I mean? But I'm starting to understand why people do it. Will I personally ever do it? No. There's certain things that I'm just like, it's for the culture, I'm not doing it. I
feel like it's a balance between, keeping it real, financial ability.
But it doesn't though. It doesn't though, because it's more expensive. That's
not just them, but like
in general.
And then also making their car their own. Because some people they'll see a wheel design and they're just like,
they want it.
I want it.
I have an example of that. The three spoke GMRs that everyone is getting. There's a Porsche that has it, and there's the dude in Cali, Dead on Alex, that has it. And to be honest with you, again, as the biggest GMR hater, I will never hate someone for buying that wheel. It's always like, especially something like that, you're not gonna find a 22-inch 3-spoke if it's not like classic blades that are beat the hell up from an OG and that's been in their basement for 7 years with the chrome stripping on it. Or if you're what I'm doing, I guess I'm spoiling the beans here, joining the wait list for Advan's 22-inch 3-pieces, 3 spokes that they're making. Really? And it's like a 9-month wait list. And then they ask for your deposit, and then you're waiting another year to get those wheels in. I know. I signed up for it. My boy RT on Flicks, when you see this gang, he put me onto that. He almost joined the wait list too. They look beautiful, bro. Them wheels are beautiful.
Let's move, because another thing that we touched on last podcast was, GAT.
Oh man.
And we all know everybody. It's the topic has come and passed, but just to revisit it briefly, if you're to go to GAT, Because people, I feel like they're still gonna go. But to correct what you've seen last year, and I'm not looking for like, oh, what's the utopian version of Gatlinburg? No, I want to know like, yo, what are some real things that the car community should step up and handle before? And it's not putting it on slammed enough because at the end of the day, they can only do so much.
It's not.
But as a car community, what do you feel like we can actually be responsible for as far as?
I don't think people advocate enough, unfortunately. I think it's a lot of people are silent protesters where they like have a fit in DMs or have a fit like you and I talking here, but they don't actually do anything about it. Like, you know, someone recently was like, oh, you know, I do so much for the Massachusetts car scene and you wouldn't even understand it. And I was like, when was the last time you spoke to like a lawmaker in Congress in Massachusetts about modified cars out here? When was the last time you signed a petition for something in Massachusetts related to the car scene that defends you? Especially now that Massachusetts is harassing the hell out of modified cars, which is crazy to think about because the modified scene out here isn't too crazy. In terms of like what we do.
It really isn't.
In terms of what we do.
It's mild.
It is.
It really is mild.
All right, listen, we might speed. We might hit, you know, occasionally at 2 a.m. when there's no one on the highway. We might hit triples.
Compared to other states?
Not remotely close. And the things, the people that are coming here and doing this crazy shit aren't even from here. They're like from Connecticut and Rhode Island and New York. And they come up here, or New Hampshire, and they come down here and do this shit.
More freedom.
And then we get somehow attacked over it, right? So the weird thing is, you know, instead of like empowering the youth to like modify cars correctly and join the right scene, people just complain about it on their stories for 30 seconds and then never do nothing about it again. So I think people need to advocate more. I think the city of Pigeon Forge is extremely prejudiced against stance cars and the people that it brings in too. I don't think it had anything to do with the actual cars, but with the people that it brought in. Unfortunately, they have this weird stereotype against people that smoke weed and listen to music loudly, as opposed to like the other show that was there the week before that did triple the amount of damage. And I think that their actions to try to minimize us being there is what caused the downfall of Gatlinburg itself. I don't think it was necessary. I think harassing us for going to Gatlinburg City was a problem. I think harassing us for even trying to link somewhere in Pigeon Forge away from the rest of the crowd is a major issue. You're now, instead of you like funneling all of the traffic, spreading it throughout the city, and I don't want to hear that they didn't have enough police forces. You saw them videos. They had police forces in there, bro. They had helicopters. You can't tell me your city doesn't have the budget when you're dropping this much to block us from a freaking gas station, bro.
But I feel like
it's crazy. I understand it, but it's like also it's their own fault, dude. They set this up for us. They set us up for failure and then cried wolf.
I just feel like pivotal creators in the scene, and I don't just mean like the quick TikTokers or anything like that. No disrespect to those guys, but it's just like the actual creators who have
the ones who have weight.
I think it would be nice to see if they stepped forward.
They like, I don't throw names out there, but they didn't. They did the opposite of that.
It's just
they marketed off of it.
It's just
crazy.
Because think about it, like they say, if a tree falls in the forest, who really hears it? So it's like with all the negative shit went on, that surpassed anything that was dope that a lot of people might have had out there.
There was a lot of dope stuff out there, dude.
I feel like if they went back and could choose to
highlight the positive,
it's just changing the narrative, you know?
It's
like, even I look at myself, you know, trying to hold myself accountable and responsible. If I got people from Connecticut, Rhode Island, New York, wherever, just along the East Coast, and I'm up here talking about the mass scene is this, the mass scene is this, the mass scene is this.
But
what am I contributing to the situation?
Well, the thing is, go ahead.
Do I sit there and say, okay, it's easier to be a criticizer than a contributor, and I hold myself accountable and say, okay, let's highlight this. Okay, you know what? If I don't like it, why did I start tuning status? I started it because there were certain things that I didn't like, and I was like, okay, I know there's other people that are like me that want things that I want, such as being able to sit in a parking lot and not have no problems.
And not get
being
harassed.
Able to sit in a parking lot and have secondary entertainment because it's only so many times you can walk around the same parking lot, see the same cars,
be for real.
and not have any food. You know what I'm saying? There's only a handful of people out here who's actually like doing it right as far as being from, let's say, Rhode Island up. You know
I do think the other issue is when somebody does try to speak up, they get silenced all the time. I don't think I have ever, and if I'm wrong, anyone can fact check me on this. I have never sat down and like flamed someone's personal build. right? I always go to the manufacturer. I always go back to the culture. I always go back to explaining why this is a problem, not why you're the problem. And that's still not good enough for people. They still take it personally. They still lash out, and they act really childish about it. And that is a Massachusetts thing. That's not in all the world. You do this shit in Florida, people are like snapping their fingers saying you're right. You do this shit in New Jersey, they don't give a fuck. New Jersey need to get blown up. Respectfully, Chief Keef, do it.
It's just
I'm calling Chief Keef.
It doesn't get highlighted.
We're not finna ignore that, gang. I just said we're blowing New Jersey up, and this dude's like, anyway, New Jersey, bro, the whole city of New Jersey, blow it up.
I'm from Jersey, bro.
Oh shit. I'm calling Chief Keef. I'm calling my hitters out here.
Nah.
We gonna I love Jersey. I love Jersey.
But seriously though, it's just changing the narrative.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, like, needs to happen within the scene.
But how do you change the narrative? Because speaking positively isn't going to change anything.
But the thing is,
it doesn't get clicks.
Doesn't really get highlighted. Yeah,
it doesn't get clicks. It doesn't get highlighted. It doesn't get shown.
Because they say support costs nothing.
But it costs everything for some people. I ain't gonna lie.
It's like, if you have 20,000 followers, or let's say 50K followers, and then you say, everybody run to my boy's page, show him love, show him, whatever, let's get his followers.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Like, I've personally seen,
Instagram won't even push it. They won't even push it.
What was it, years ago? I watched DDE, and I was like, they were like, oh, go check out this person's page and go follow him and support them and this, that, and the third. And then I looked after the video about a week later, and they got max. It was like 30 subscribers.
Dude, I was gonna tell you that. He posted recently on his post. He was like, "LOL, channel's dying," because you can see it's like the trending views are just going straight down, and that's because they're not posting clickbait content. And that, to give an example of that, Alex Choi, who is, I think, affiliated with DDE somehow. His numbers don't stop. Because all he posts is, it's not necessarily, I wouldn't say negative, but it's like fear mongering and wild stuff, right? So how do you do that? Like, the only alternative to that is super extreme positive stuff. Meaning, like, last year when the Stance kids came and donated like trucks worth of stuff for the city of Gatlinburg, that should be highlighted. Like, do you know, and it was, and where it was heavily appreciated by the locals there, but nobody wants to spread that information out. Instead of the news showing like, hey, look, these guys came down here for a car show and they gave like 3 18-wheelers worth of food, water, and materials to the city of Gatlinburg, who had a horrible flood. The worst flood you can ever imagine. They still haven't even recovered from that, by the way.
That's crazy.
On some places. They don't highlight that, but they highlight the fact that, again, the city closed down every major spot for stance cars, and now it's like massive chaos. That was news for like 3 weeks. That news made it to freaking Trump, dude. That news made it to Trump's front office. That doesn't make any sense. How does that make it all the way up there? But, and that's the problem. Because they constantly show stuff like this, it gives the false pretense that that's what every single car that's modified is like. And that's what happens out here. I have never seen a stance car at a takeover event doing freaking donuts in the middle of the center, right? Negative 20 degrees, you're not moving. You don't even have full lock. You don't even got full lock, gang. And I promise you that my boys from out here that are static, low to the ground, double digit tilt, are getting harassed more than the cars that are actually there. And it's just constantly from the city of Boston, from the state of Massachusetts, from anywhere that you go to. Maryland is cooked. Maryland is cooked. You can't even go to Maryland with a modified car. They'll stop you and tow your car. Canada's cooked. Canada's cooked. You apparently, if I go to Canada with my build right now, cross the border, get in, and there's a cop like 3 miles into the border, they will tow me back outside of Canada, and I have to figure out a way to get out of the city. There's no other way to get out of the country.
That's crazy.
It's that bad, and I would hate for the states to get that bad. I mean, if you see how Europe is, they have extremely crazy regulations for modifying cars for a reason, I guess. But out here, when you think about the modified cars that are getting in massive accidents, it's never the ones that people harass and talk trash about the most. Stance cars might be stupid to some people. It might be pointless. It might be purely a culture and aesthetic thing. It's not bothering anyone. I'm sorry I made you 2 minutes late to your job that you should have left 45 minutes earlier from your house for, because I got stuck in the middle of the roadway. Because my car is too low. I'm sorry that I had to go from the left lane all the way to the right to the breakdown lane because I DB'd. Like, Nobody's getting affected seriously like that. Versus you have cut up kids who are crashing into families all the time.
Yeah.
You have the takeover kids who are unfortunately. You know what's crazy? The takeover kids, you got to be careful too, because there's actually a line between pit kids and takeover kids, and that line is very thin.
Yeah.
But it's very different. You go to takeover kids, they're dumb. They're just straight up like going to the middle of an intersection in the city, closing the city down, lighting a police car on fire. Right? And then you have the people that go to the I forget what it's called, but it's like the turkey run, I think, or something like that, where like somewhere in Rhode Island or in Attleboro, I think, they go there to do burnouts. The turkey burn is what they call it. They do burnouts in this very secluded area, do donuts, and then they leave. 40 fucking cops showed up and shut it down on something that's not bothering anyone, that's away from everybody, away from the city. And they're making a big deal out of it. Like stuff like that should be allowed. Yeah. And that's the difference between pit people and that. The pit people, as soon as they leave the pit, they're back to being regular individuals that are going 15 over the speed limit and maybe doing one pass on the right lane. Versus, oh my God, I can fit between these two cars even though they're going the same speed and I can white line it. Versus I'm gonna go to downtown Boston and do donuts because why not? It's clout. It's gonna make me. There's lines to it. I'm not gonna tell people not to have fun, bro. Like again, we're all breaking the law one way or another. Whether or not that law should be applied to us is a different conversation. If you're doing a pull at a red light to the next red light, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, you're a horrible person. You're the reason the scene is ending. If you spin a little bit while exiting the highway or like I'm not gonna sit there and be like, you're the worst person in the world. But when you're literally affecting the entire community by blocking the most like busy intersection in Massachusetts. And then lighting a cop car on fire on Mass Avenue?
That's wild, bro. So what I'm starting to notice in the car scene as well is like, and as things expand, there's a lot of brands becoming, well, I want to say a lot of brands being birthed. So like clothing brands and, you know, merch brands and accessories and
the method, as they say.
Like I'm starting to see that that's much more prevalent in the car scene, and I'm trying to understand why is there this boom in it? Why does it seem like
because people think you make money off of it. People really think that it's the solution to getting rich quick. It really isn't.
Because it's different. Because like back then, like when we started like the brands and, you know, having like different font shirts and whatever, different style shirts, whatever, you'd go to the shows and like you'd find like your local supporters that like supported you in that state show or whatever. And you offered merch and then that was it. And a lot of us, honestly, to tell the truth, wasn't that much money in it. But it's like, hey, it's dope because like you got to see somebody wearing your shirt.
You can live off of that. I mean, there's people that have made whole careers out of it. And I think there is, I mean, there's even people outside of the car scene that merch is really much, it used to be the method. Selling clothing online, drop shipping, all that shit was really the method. I think now it's becoming either a clout or a money like chasing thing. People think that you make a lot of money off of it. You don't make a lot of money off of it. And maybe my perception on a lot of money is messed up because I have a salary job and because like I play with money that's not, you know, couple 500, couple thousands here and there. But you don't really make that much money off of this merch stuff. The point where you do make money is boofing. You start boofing at these car shows and selling at the car shows. That's where you make money because people go there with the intention of leaving with something. So that you're better off doing that. But a lot of people, you know, they think that, hey, I'm going to turn my social media into some sort of financial outlet. And the easiest way to do that is to sell something. And clothing is the one thing that they sell because everyone is apparently a graphic designer and everyone thinks that they're gonna buy their stuff. The problem.
Chat GPT.
Bro. That's the thing, and that's the other problem that I had. I have this video. It's a 4-minute video that I have to refilm and cut down. That I worked with my boy in Broken Gang. Shout out Broken Gang. It's a 3-minute video talking about the method in the car scene. And what happens is a new kid comes out, right? He gets a little bit of a following. He has a couple reels that blow up. And then it turns into a clique. Now it's like, oh, these are my boys, right? We're all cool together. And you know, it starts off with, yo, I'm gonna make merch and banners for my people. You know, I sell it to them, we're cool. And that's how I started too. You know, I had my little circle and I was like, yo, it'd be cool if we all had like matching shirts or like something like that. Like we were all, you know, for us it was a creative exit. Which is where we can turn our car related, you know, content and our car entertainment into something that we can share with the rest of the world or even with the rest of the people around us, right? But when you start seeing people making hella money off of it, which there are people that like live off of just selling car merch, like stand scene merch, everyone gets money hungry. And then it turns into like, yo, we got to start pushing things out, start getting people to buy, get people to buy. And that's what happens. Like you first pop out and your first year is amazing because all your friends are supporting. But when your friends go away, you realize you're just another niche micro influencer with a couple thousand followers, and you're not really getting new members or new fans. Those sales start to crash, and you're realizing you can't re-up on those sales. That's why vending is important, because that's where you get your new audiences. Even if it's a completely like the same exact cars every single year, you still get new people going to that. But I think like the issue is now everyone, it starts off with someone getting famous. They're getting some traction on Instagram. They finally hit 5K or some BS like that. Yeah. They're hitting 1 million views monthly average because of some of the reels that they post. Their comment sections going off, haters, fans, all of the above. Then they're like, okay, I want to turn this Instagram thing into something financial now. So then they're like, oh, I'm going to sell merch. Yeah. And they do the same thing. They print locally. There's a method. They make a brand with some obscure name on it. And I think my joke was I'm gonna call mine misunderstood.tm. That's the other thing. You have to add .tm, .tg, .gang, .club. Something at the end has to be added. I'm guilty of some of this myself, but it's more of like just me not knowing what else to do, and that's kind of it's the method. You have to do this, but now it's like everyone's doing it. Like when I started the yacht club, it was the beginning of the merch bubble, which is like a small amount of people were doing it. But now that they see me doing it, they're like, oh, if he can do it, then I can do it. Then everyone else can do it. Okay. And that's fair. That's fair. Listen, I'm all for empowering everyone, and I'm all for if you can do something better than I can, please by all means do it. Yeah. Especially if I can help you be better than me. Like I always invest in people because eventually that investment comes back to me one way or another, and it always has. Every single time that I've helped someone level up, from the beginning to the top, they've always paid it back somehow to me. Whether it be never having to pay for clothes again for them, whether it be free ads, whether it be like, whatever it is, they always offer something to me. I think, again, the issue is that these people are just money hungry. They get a little bit of clout. They want to turn it into some sort of financial thing. They make AI, like some of them make AI slop, bro. They use AI to make their merch. And we've seen a lot of it.
It's a tool. I believe it's a tool to get started on an idea or a concept that you have
to share with an actual artist.
So you can and then share it. I feel like because sometimes when you try to explain something to somebody, they don't get it.
I came prepared today.
But then when you send it to them and they're like, oh, okay, now I get what you're saying, and then they can revise it.
Like they can barely see that, but
we'll clip
stuff like this is made by hand from the beginning to the end. But the inspiration behind this is a photo. Yeah. Somebody sent me a photo of this exact car in front of a Raising Cane's, and I sent it over to my artist, and I was like, hey, I have this idea for like a Raising Cane style shirt, but it's like I don't want it to look like a Raising Cane's. I don't want it to look like any typical shirt, right? I want it to like stand out. So we added like the soda on the corners, we added the feathers because again, my whole theme is with a bird. Yeah. The reason I have a bird on my brand, nobody understands why is the yacht club and the bird in the same sentence. What's one thing that every single car enthusiast always has to deal with no matter where they exist? Bird shit. It's everywhere. It happens. You park in the wrong spot, you got bird shit on your car. You go to the car wash today, on your way home, you get bird shit. That's something that you always have to deal with. So what's something that someone can have in common with everyone? Yeah. Birds. But to put it in perspective, people don't go that deep with their brands. No. People don't have a message behind their brand. People don't have a reason behind their brand. People don't have a story. Yeah. It's always just like, it was just me and the boys hanging. We've done this too many times. Even the yacht club, bro. Like I'm tired of the word the yacht club because the initial idea for the yacht club was to be a space where everyone's welcomed and invited. I don't know if I told the story last time of how it started, but again, I was the only black kid inside. I was the second black kid at an actual real yacht club. And everyone there just has $1 million yachts. But like when you go to the actual, port or docks, it's big yachts, small yachts, tiny yachts, which is again all different sizes. But everyone there is like white that owns a yacht. None of them are like, lower income family. Obviously, immigrants. None of them are like, we know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say. So it's like I wanted to make a space for car culture in general, where everyone's welcomed. And the way that started is back then when I started in the scene. Yeah. And I was in this teams like Rebellious, teams like Synthal, teams like all that. It wasn't a place where everyone was invited. You have to have a certain criteria, a certain level of, you know what I mean? Yeah. And if you're someone that's starting off, you have no idea what you're doing. Or if you have someone that has no guidance, you have no idea what you're doing. The yacht club has everyone there. They have people that know what they're doing, people that don't know. That was the whole point of it. But again, then you have people that look at the yacht club and be like, oh yeah, bro, LS 400 static on Ratzingers. Yeah, man, Mercedes S2 S500 bagged with Emmett wheels. Like that's not what the yacht club is about, bro. That's not what it should be about. But whenever you see someone trying to replicate the yacht club, that's all they do.
So
it's cookie cutter. That's the problem with the clothing scene and the car content creators. It's all cookie cutter. It's all a cash grab. There's no actual message or theme or even inspiration behind what they do.
So is this your perspective now on like the business aspect? Because like looking at social media, like what is your views on it from like when you first posted and made your account versus the type of stuff that you're posting now? Like what's the impression that social media has left on you?
I think it's no longer so. I actually am one of the few people that adore social media. And I love it for different reasons. I think this is a crazy convo. I think Vine ruined social media.
Really?
Remember Vine?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
Right? I think Vine ruined social media because it introduced short form content that is very much just a
click and scroll.
Click and scroll. Whereas back then you had to be very clever because you only had 6 seconds.
Or a really good health insurance plan, because people are literally fucking themselves.
For clout. Like,
the way I saw somebody scorpion themselves off of that the crate challenge.
Oh yeah,
that shit.
Oh yeah, people paralyze themselves from shit like that. Bro, yeah, and that's my point. Like I think Vine started this whole trend of like short form content where it's like quick endorphins and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, you get your quick, happiness and then you leave or whatever. I think now I'm lucky to say that my For You page is all education based. It's very much like fixing your posture when you sit up, health related, like finance related stuff. So I can doom scroll and walk out knowing more than I did before I doom scrolled.
Yeah.
So as a consumer, I feel like I'm safe. And I also love social media because it connects me with so many people that I don't see and don't talk to on a daily basis. That's why I loved social media. That's the point of it. That's the point. Dude, I have people in Florida that I've never met a day in my life, but I'm congratulating them on their kids, on their new job and stuff like that. And I'm actually interested in the well-being of these people that I can't see at all. Whereas back then it's like, I didn't know you from a fly on the wall. I've never even seen you a day in my life. I see your car drive by and I'm like, nice car. I don't know who you are. Now it's like I know who all these people are.
Yeah.
I can constantly check up on them, make sure they're doing good without having the need of like, I don't know what it would be like without social media. But I enjoyed that aspect of it. I'm able to catch up on people's lives. I'm able to learn every single time I open Instagram. And sometimes you just want to laugh a little bit, gang. And
that's my shit, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That's my shit.
I ain't gonna lie. And that's fine. You feel me? Like it's the point of it, right? But I think my issue when going back to your business conversation is now that the problem that I'm having is it's becoming a strategy to use social media now. It's no longer just let me see what my boys are doing, let me see what my friends are doing out of state, out of the country or whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's like, shit, did this reel fuck up? Did I do good on this reel? Did I post it correctly? Did I post at the wrong time? Come on, gang. Did I post at the right time? Did I put the right caption? Did I do this? Did I do that? And recently I've noticed that it's a method. It's a grab their attention and then drop a time bomb on them. And that's the only way you can do it. You grab their attention by showing them a really ugly car.
Yeah.
And then you show them the car done up and looking nice. Yeah.
The hook.
The hook, exactly. The hook and sinker, as they say. So that's the problem with social media now. And unfortunately, the easiest way to get a hook and sinker is with fear mongering and negativity. This might be a random topic on your page that has nothing to do with cars, but aspartame, which is like the artificial sugar. There are so many studies out that have no negative connotation with aspartame. Now I know there's some people that are allergic to it. That's fair. And then there's this whole thing about like aspartame causes cancer.
Yeah.
And they show this one study or whatever. Aspartame is probably the healthiest alternative to actual sugar that you will ever find. And it's proven by multiple studies. It's proven by multiple research exams. And if you go into these research studies, they're very detailed about it. Yeah. But the ones that these people bring up, like they're like, oh, they'll start with aspartame is going to kill you. Like that's the hook.
Yeah.
And then their information is this bullshit because it's this weird niche research where they tested it on rats, but they tested like 5 milligrams of aspartame on rats and the rats would die. 5 milligrams of aspartame on a rat is the equivalent of 5,000 for a human. So it's like it's a difference between for you to consume.
It's not a direct correlation at all.
Exactly. So I understand that they're saying, okay, it does cause cancer, especially if you have this amount of it. The amount that you'd have to consume of aspartame to actually get cancer, you die from liquid poisoning before you're able to actually die from aspartame. And they're like, well, aspartame makes you fat. There's a study that says that these people got diabetes. These were people that already were borderline diabetic. These are people that didn't change their diet at all. They only changed their drinks. They went from, eating 7 slices of pizza with a regular Coke to eating 7 slices of pizza with a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to tell me that these people are not going to be diabetic after something like that. So this is an example of what fear-mongering is. Yeah. People will take an example like that, find little points that are contradictory to the entire base research, like ibuprofen causing autism. Let's be for real, gang. That's
a reach, bro.
But you know who said that, right? Ibuprofen. All right, now you're catching up. Guess what they didn't tell you about that, though? The No Name's right-hand man, Dr. Oz, who everyone used to love Dr. Oz, owns a competitor of ibuprofen that does the exact same thing. So the hope was that people would hear that ibuprofen causes autism, that they'd stop buying ibuprofen and instead buy Dr. Oz's alternative. Again, all these things have little connotations behind them.
This is why I get fucked up, because I end up in like a YouTube rabbit hole, and I'm like,
I know.
You know what?
And the thing is, you don't even have to dig. For me, I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any means. I am not political by any means. I refuse to talk about politics with most people. However, I'm not a dumbass, and I'm very much educated in every single topic. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, but all that kind of ties, and ironically, it kind of does tie into the car scene, because that is why the content that you see is always against stance cars, because that is the most prominent scene right now.
Can you explain something to me that I don't understand? What's up with the posts and memes with the car parts manufacturers talking about, sorry for making parts affordable, blah, 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 blah.
What's that about?
You haven't seen that?
Nah.
So lately what I've been noticing is there's a trend, and I don't get the meme behind it or whatever, but there's a lot of automotive aftermarket parts manufacturers talking about, sorry that you guys are so upset that we're making parts affordable for people. And shame on us for allowing people to be able to buy things because they normally can't spend X amount of dollars on X, Y, Z.
I see. I think, I don't know the context behind it, but if I were to assume based on that information, it's probably like this person offers coilovers for $150 as opposed to this like name brand that offers it for $600, and people are clowning you for owning a $150 pair of things, and then their reply is, so sorry for making things affordable.
So I've seen the original person who, I'm trying to remember who it was.
We got to find that.
But they posted it, and then a lot of people like commented to gain traction, everything like that. And then another company did it, and they gained traction. And then I saw it, just follow the blueprint. That other manufacturers like, okay, maybe if I make a post, then there's other people looking at my company and things like that.
I haven't seen that one.
But I'll send it to you.
I've seen one about turbos. There's one company that makes in-house turbos out here. They sell it for a fraction of the price of the real turbo, and everyone's like, yeah, that's because they blow up. And it's like there's no real truth about that. I think a better topic that I've seen that goes back to our conversation about Repwiz and Alibaba is with Valvetronic, because Valvetronic's exhausts are made in China. And now somebody found the manufacturer that makes another manufacturer that makes like Valvetronic style exhaust. Yeah. And it's like, Valvetronic is like $2,600. You can get it for $600, $800, maybe $200 on shipping. So like a band on Alibaba. And, they came out and defended and say, listen, the amount of research we spent doing this exhaust, you'll never know the money that we spent in R&D. You never know the money that we spend on warranties for our stuff. Our QA process is different. And they're like, well, it doesn't matter because I can get your exhaust somewhere else for less. So you guys are just like marking up your stuff because of the name brand. Respectfully, just because China can recreate it doesn't mean it's the same thing. It doesn't mean it's better. Like if somebody stole my design for my shirt and sold it on like wish.com, I would not be concerned. I'd be like, it's not going to match the quality. It's not coming from me. Like the reason you buy the merch is because it's coming from me. It's because you like me. You mess with me, you feel me? You're cool with me. If you're buying it from Wish, like you're just buying it for the design, which is still a compliment to me. Thank you. You like the design enough to buy a replica of it. But I don't think I don't know. It is kind of a tough argument because I get it where it's like, okay, so if your cost for making this is less than $600, why are you selling it for like $5,000? to someone? Is it worth $5,000 to you? Like you might say it's worth $5,000 because of your R&D, because of this and that. Who really has the money to pay $5,000 for that? So then you have an Alibaba company that just straight up steals their designs from a Chinese manufacturer out there, sells it for $600. You know what I mean? And they're probably only spending $200 making it. So it's a really good argument where it's like, okay, at what point like is the manufacturer like taxing too much and taking advantage of their clients by overcharging for a product that's not worth that much? But like, who decides what a product is worth is the other conversation. It's like, it was a good conversation. It's a good topic. I do agree with them where like people don't realize the amount of money that goes into R&D, research and development. Like you probably spend millions of dollars in R&D before you see your first dollar back. And the same thing goes into like the warranty. Like they offer 2 years, sometimes lifetime warranties. Sometimes the QA process is different. I mean, In-Air is an example of that. The In-Air suspension company that I mess with, that I'm cool with, their QA process is different than the manufacturer's process because the manufacturer sells their own bags. As individuals, they're their own brand altogether. But their QA process is different from ours. And you can notice that because in their weak points, I've no names, but there's people that buy replacement parts for the cheaper brand through us. And you'll notice that the parts aren't copy and paste over. Someone might be like, oh, well, this doesn't fit well on my bags, but it fits well on somebody else's, right? If I say I have no stake in In-Air, so this is coming from experience, by the way. Our mountain bracket is 7 inches longer and thicker, than the competition, than what they make. And we know that because we installed that exact same bag and realized that the strut cracked and broke like a year into use. So we're like, okay, let's make this thicker. Now all of a sudden you don't have that issue of the crack bagging and doing that. But then you get a replacement part from the same manufacturer and you're like, oh, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit because we did the research and development and the money that we put into it to figure out, oh, this bag setup isn't gonna work on this car because this is way too thin. We're gonna offer it differently from the manufacturer's point. That's where the R&D comes in. And that's where my whole build is an R&D if you think about it. Everything I've done on that car is researching, not knowing, not having any information. So trying things out, failing at it, trying it again, failing at it. The amount of money that goes into that is a lot. And if I started selling products for W213 chassis and I taxed on it because of all the money that I had to spend to get to this point of offering a product, I'd be pretty pissed if someone said, oh, I'm just gonna go to China and get it for a third of the price. They're just gonna copy your shit. I'm like, of course, but China didn't pay for the $2 million I invested into figuring out how to make this exhaust sound great, sound bad. I mean, if you want to put it in perspective, the LFA, the Lexus LFA made literally no money for Yamaha or Toyota as a whole because they spent so much money on research and development making that exhaust sound amazing for that V10, which I don't understand why you would ever straight pipe an LFA. Leave what came with it. They never made money off of that. So this new LFA that's now, one is an EV and the other one is just a regular V8, or not even a V8. I think it's like a V. It might be a V8. It might be all right. It's a V8. They're like, oh, why didn't they put a Yamaha exhaust on it? I'm like, because the amount of research and development that they'd had to do, they have to sell that for like almost $500,000.
Exactly.
No one's buying it.
Not at that price point.
No one's buying it. And
you're gonna get a couple collectors, but that's it.
And you run into the situation like the BMW i8, where you're like, if I'm gonna spend $300,000 on a car with an i3, inline 3 with an EV motor in it, what's in that same price point that's so much better? You know what I mean? And that's the issue that you run into these manufacturers too. It's like, oh, I'm gonna do all this research and development for this crazy exhaust setup. However, I'm gonna sell it for 3 times the market value because of the research we did. I'm like, I understand it, but it doesn't work that way. Which I hopefully that kind of ties with what you were saying with the brand that was making this video. Oh, sorry for making things affordable. I get it, but cutting corners to make something affordable is also not an excuse.
No, it's not. It's not.
If the lifespan of my, of what I buy is like less than a year or less than 2 years, or even like it can't handle more than 23 PSI of boost.
Okay.
You feel me? Why are we going down this path?
So before we wrap this up, we got a different part of the show, and then we'll tap into the final question. Let's address some of the things that you guys wanted us to respond to online. I was about to say something wild, but I'll keep it to myself.
I was like, what is? I was like, what are you talking about?
So you made a post the other day.
I make a lot of posts. You have to help me again.
And you left the door open for people to ask questions.
Facts. So
let's take the moment.
Yeah, bro.
And we're gonna shout out the.
I'll send you the screenshots too. We can go through this. A lot of them sent me cars, but I'm not gonna lie, bro. I can't really talk about the cars. I do want to talk about Marsh's car.
Okay.
The static 7th gen. I think we already brought it up earlier, bro. But I think that's an example of like pushing the boundaries of what the current scene is like. People are gonna talk about the welding on it. They're gonna talk about how the job isn't as good as it should be. Yeah. I understand that. I don't know.
Where's the fenders?
I don't know. I can't tell you anything about that, to be honest, because I'm not educated in the welding aspect of it. Yeah. But I can tell you that he's going to drive that car, and that's the thing that I respect more than anything else. That he fucking drives those cars. No matter what he does to them, he drives the hell out of those. Dude drove not as low as he is right now, but like stock body on the ground from middle New Jersey to Philly. For the Philly Auto Show. And like I didn't understand how big of a feat that was until I like did it myself in a bagged car and realized how bad it was. Jesus. And he's doing that in a static car, which again, my respect is gonna be, in terms of like he's pushing the boundaries of it. Yeah. Do I know anything about the rigidity of the structure? I don't know. If it's bad, then I don't know what the alternative would be. Yeah. But pushing the envelope like that really does open the scene in the U.S. that I think it should have opened a long time ago. And I think I love that as well out here in Massachusetts. Like you're starting to see more static builds. Yeah. Like, and again, real static builds. Yeah. I'm gonna emphasize that a lot because I swear to God, bro, people think just because you got coilovers you're static, bro. That's not how it works anymore, unfortunately, bro. The static phase, you for example, you're like in between the not low enough to call yourself static and low enough. You're literally in between that line. Yeah. But you're on TEs too, so you kind of and you're on a Tesla, so I'm like, it's just, and you live in Mass, and you're a father, and you have a life. I'm
just getting around.
But you're looking nice getting around, right? But you're not gonna sit there and be like, yo, big static, bags suck, this and that. No. You're in your own corner.
But if I wanted to, we could press play on that.
But shit. Hey, don't. I'll come back for episode 3, bro. I'll start flaming you, gang. All right, but. We talked about some of these already. Social media affecting the scene. Yeah. And one of the questions you had is how do you make it real? Yeah. I think holding people accountable. Okay. I don't think we hold people accountable enough. I think people don't realize their imprint on social media. I don't think they realize how sometimes they embarrass themselves on social media, and people don't hold them accountable for shit like that. Like I have an amazing friend group. I think when I first started off on social media, the friend group was not anything bad to those people, but it was just like. Yes, men. Everything I posted, everything I said, yes, men.
I know what that's like.
Yeah.
Especially when I was like really forward in the photography. I know
yeah.
It's like, yo, this edit's fire, bro. Fire, bro. Fire emoji, drop that shit, fire emoji.
It could be straight dog water.
And I was like, bro, I didn't even try. I just wanted to see what you niggas would say, bro.
Yo. So. I mean, I'm lucky that I have a bunch of judgmental people around me, which sounds crazy, right? Because, you don't want that type of energy around you, but I think you need that energy around you. If you don't have a bunch of people that are telling you, yo, that post was not it, yo, this is stupid. I send my posts to very controversial, very opinionated people all the time because it's not like me chasing the clout. I mean, people might call it that, but respectfully, I say this with respect, what more clout is there to chase? I think I've achieved, if I was clout chasing, I've achieved that goal. Yeah. It's done. My name is known without having to go anywhere. Like people know my car. I don't even have an @ on my car and people find me all the time. Like I think that's when you made it. When you don't have an @ on your car and people send you photos of your car, they know it's you. Yeah. That's a different level of quote unquote clout. But the point is, like, I reach out to these people and I send them the video because I want their opinions on it. They're people that have major opinions on the scene and they hold weight. I need an honest opinion about it. People don't do that anymore. People will post whatever they want. People will say whatever they want, and people will either co-sign their ratchetness and their freaking insanity instead of calling them out on their BS, which is what really I think is the problem with the social media scene in cars. Nobody's calling anyone out anymore. And when I say call out, I don't mean publicly shame.
Yeah. No,
I don't mean like
it's different.
A DM.
It's different.
A DM. Yeah. Yo, bro,
but also
this just not it,
was dictated by how sensitive a person is, because you could have clear-cut intentions of saying, yo, bro, here's some feedback. Yeah. But then some people take it as, oh, you're attacking me.
Which is exactly what happened. Yeah. Which is exactly what it is what happens. And I think the problem with that is they're still allowing these same exact people to have a platform. I'm sorry, if you're too sensitive where you can't change your stance on something, or where you get like really freaked out, angry to the point, and you get really angry about some topics, you have no place in the scene, bro. You have no place to have a platform for this. You know, in the Twitch era, so this is different. YouTube scene, Twitch stream, it's kind of similar. People, they'll deplatform you for doing something that's fucked up and seen as negative. By deplatform, that means that they'll boycott your streams, boycott your videos. They'll try to get your sponsors taken away from you. There's not enough of that in the actual real Instagram car culture. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's things that I should be held accountable for. Like the comment section in some cases. I've always looked back at it and I'm like, think of your digital footprint. I'm like, damn, I can't wait till I have a kid so I can delete social media. I will delete my Mr. Masseto account the minute I have a kid. That's a no question asked thing, because again, your social media footprint does matter. I have a feeling like if I really wanted to start over and have a positive leaf, like a completely positive point of view on everything, I could get exactly to where I am right now without having to chase any clout at all. At all. And that's the problem. If you can't get to where you're at, or like to where I'm at, or where someone that you want to be, or where you want to be rather, without clout chasing, like networking isn't clout chasing. Showing support isn't clout chasing. Asking questions and learning from people that are much bigger than you is not clout chasing. Now, again, if your goal is just to get notoriety, just to say you have notoriety, that's different. In my case, again, I just want to have a platform that I can share the content I like making and stuff like that, and I want people to laugh with. I want to meet new people, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But I also want to educate. I don't know if you see my stories. I talk a lot about finances. I talk a lot about investing, 401k. There's people that are higher than our age that don't have 401ks, right? There's
which is wild.
Listen, and it's a culture thing. It's a Black Latino, immigrant thing, dude. We are unfortunately part of a scene where we're stuck in government assistant loop. And the minute we get out of it,
financial literacy and support of financial
it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. And there's people that
taught how to survive.
That's it. We don't get taught how to thrive. That's a bar. We get taught how to survive, don't get taught how to thrive. And the minute you start to thrive, you get beat up. My parents is an example of that. And a lot of people are like, dude, you're 27, you still live with your parents, what are you doing? I've decided I would much rather spend the rest of my life living with my parents and helping them, because what they went through to get me to the USA is something that no one will ever understand besides an immigrant family. So that was man random. So that's why I'm really big on, like, again, giving back to the community with knowledge. There's people that are on government assistance and they stay on it. They get a little bit of, movement. They have a job that gave them a small raise. They're scared about getting a raise at their job, because the more money you get paid, the more they start taking away, which makes no sense, because the minute they take it away, everything that the government paid for is now 3 times as expensive as it should be, to where they can't afford it outside of that. And I kind of like have this weird understanding. I'm not ignorant enough to say that, if you're on government assistance or government housing, like, you need to step up and do. I understand why some people don't get out of it. It makes sense, dude. My parents, they lost everything when they bought their first house. No more health insurance for a 12-year-old kid like me. Mom and dad barely, making over minimum wage at the time. And all they could do is strive for better. But sometimes, it's scary to strive for better, because you're not guaranteed anything. You know what I mean? Like, if I told my mom to leave her job taking care of elderly people that are Latino, what alternative does she have? She's going to have to learn English at over 40 years old, which is not the easiest thing to do. She's going to have to like have 2 to 3 jobs just to even make enough money to kind of support us while learning a different language. And then putting her in a different career path, understood, right? That makes sense, but it's not easy for everyone to do that. Some people don't have the ability to not pay rent for 1 month. Like, people live paycheck to paycheck.
A lot of people are.
And it's scary.
Of people are. And the sad thing is, when people say that they live in paycheck to paycheck and they tell you how much they're bringing home, that's the
scary
issue.
part.
That's the real issue.
And look, there's people that figured it out. There's people that have it figured out. I challenge those people, and I've had conversations with people who have completely opposing opinions from me. They're like, government assisted people are the worst type of Americans. Like, they're the ones that are thriving off of my tax dollars, this and that. And I've been able to sit down and talk to them about why they are in that position. And they don't necessarily change their point of view. They still think that if you're freeloading off the government, like, get off your ass and do something about it. But they also understand that there is a very true demographic line that's drawn everywhere in the country. If you're black, if you're a woman, if you're a black woman, if you're Latino, if you're anything that's not a certain, demographic, you definitely have an underlying stat against you. Like you're fucked. You start off living life in hard mode. And there's people that make it that don't tell you enough about the truth. They don't tell you, yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Y'all might have seen I had $300K in my investment account. I got $35 to my name right now. I can't take that money out ever. Bro, you can hold me at gunpoint right now. You can kill me and that money won't even go to you. Because it's not taxed. Yeah. Like people don't understand that. Like, I might have an amazing net worth, but only my kids are gonna enjoy that. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It's a crazy world. And that's why I think, that's why I want a social media platform to spread positive shit like that, to tell people that are, dude, I talked to kids that are like 16, 15 talking about, yo, I just got a job at McDonald's, bro. Should I start investing? Fuck yeah. Yeah. That's the conversations I want, bro. Yes. That's what that was my goal since day one about social media, right? But unfortunately, there's other things that happen too. You get into arguments with people that are very biased or very opinionated, and they take it out in a weird way, where it's really just a conversation in DMs that you could handle in 30 seconds. But again, it turns into, and I don't want to step down from a fight, respectfully. I ain't gonna lie. That's my issue. That's my issue. That is my growth area. And that's why I say having people in your circle that hold you accountable for stuff like that. Shout out Matt. Shout out Matt from Beast Coast. Yeah. Shout out, again, Cozy, Darius. They always hold me accountable for this shit. They'll DM me, be like, bro, this post is not it. This is too controversial. Listen, you talk about how you want to...
what are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Respectfully, it's the truth. And don't get me, there's times where you should stand up for yourself. There's times where you put 100%. Your foot down and you're like, all right, bro, you bitching and moaning, this is BS. I don't want to hear this, bro. But there's also the maturity side of it, bro. People ruin their lives over side eyes. Yeah. You feel me? And I'm very much a pacifist and non-confrontational person, but I will not sit there and let someone just walk over you for no reason. But again, that's the social media part of it. Social media, it's crazy how much of a tangent we go on these conversations, but it's it all ties back in together, dude. It does. Social media use is not punished. The bad use of social media, bro, back in the day, you'd really get your life ruined over calling someone a hard R, or calling someone, or calling someone neurodivergent. You call someone the other word for neurodivergent, you're getting canceled. You're not just canceled, but you're getting your ass beat, respectfully. And nowadays, you got kids a third of our age and even grown adults saying the dumbest thing on the internet. I'm talking about people past 40, bro. Yeah. Opinionated as hell, bro. Red pilled, blue pilled, black pilled, all of these crazy opinions. It does scare me. Yeah. It does make you realize the world is really messed up right now, past COVID. And people are just, and maybe this is maybe the difference is social media is exposing these people. Yeah. And that's the real difference. But maybe also just the world's always been this fucked up. Yeah. People just didn't have the balls to say it in public anymore. But now you have people straight up saying, kill all Muslims on fucking social media. It's nothing. It's nothing, dude.
It's wild.
It's wild. And I'm not even, again, I'm not a political, I'm not religious, but I would never sit here and have somebody else's decision or preference ruin my own day.
All right, guys.
All right.
And on that note,
hey,
thanks for pulling up, my guy.
The gang. I ain't coming back though. He banned me after that comment.
Listen,
I'm banned.
To the next time, y'all know the vibes. Stay up, stay blessed.
It ain't no secret, so be it, so be it. Smoke. So be it, so be it. Smoke. So be it.